Good evening and welcome to Rochelle's Vegan Kitchen. Tonight we are going to be doing a almond milk. Almond milk is delicious. It's a wonderful replacement to cow's milk. So let's get started. First I'm going to wash my hands. And then we are ready to go. One of the things I love about almond milk is that it's delicious and it's really easy to make. So the first thing that I start with are some almonds. I start with raw almonds and I soak them overnight in a bowl of water. And what happens to that, and you can see the almonds here, these are the raw almonds, and this is the almonds after they're soaked. And you can see that the soaked almonds are quite a bit larger and plumper than the raw almonds. This does a couple of things. It makes the almonds more digestible when we eat them. It makes it easier to break down in the machine to make them into almond milk. And it also, as I said, it plumps up the almond, so it gives it more water volume. So you actually get more almonds because now you have a fatter, bigger almond because it has more water in it. So, this is the almonds after it's been soaked overnight. And I'm going to just drain it in the sink. And quickly rinse it. And take the almonds and put them in the Vitamixer. The Vitamixer is a wonderfully powerful blender, and it's going to take these almonds and pulverize them into a milk. So that is 1 1/4 cups of almonds that have been soaked, and I'm going to add to that 4 cups of filtered water. And then I'm going to put that on the Vitamixer, being very careful that I put the top on tightly. Okay. While this is going, I'm going to get my nut bag ready, and that is going to filter this. So that was about a minute, maybe a little bit less. And you can see the milk now has a frothiness to it. And what I'm going to do now is pour it into a nut bag. You can get one of these nut bags on Amazon for about $8. Quite handy. And what I'm going to do now is squeeze the milk out. Now, I've never milked a cow, but I kind of think that this is what it's like, which is ironic because I am making nut milk now. So you just keep squeezing the bag, and you can see that there is a lot of milk coming out. And keep squeezing and squeezing. Very nice. So you can see how it's bubbling. This is perfect. I'm just going to get a little bit more milk out there. I'm wearing an apron, as you can see, and I definitely recommend wearing an apron because some of the milk does spill all over the place. Now, one of the nice things about almond milk is that, and almonds in particular, is that they're high in calcium. They've got lots of protein. When you soak them, they make them more digestible. They have vitamin E. They have magnesium. So it's a great food. Also, what I'm doing is taking a lot of the fat out because this is the almond meal and this is the milk. Now what I'll do next is pour this almond meal back in my blender and take 2 cups of water, filtered water, pour that back into the blender. Oops. And put the top back on, and that's ready to go for a few seconds. And now we have round 2. So again, I pour it into the nut milk bag. Hold on a second. Okay. And I do the same procedure. I'm just squeezing out the excess. And you can see I've got a nice amount of milk in here. And I just do that a few more times to make sure I have all the milk. Pretty easy, isn't it? Okay. Leftover almond meal makes great flour for almond cookies. So what I do with the almond meal, one last shake, and what I'll do with the almond meal is open up my dehydrator tray and put the almond meal on the tray, and I will dehydrate this for a couple of hours, and I will be able to make some flour, some almond flour, and make some cookies later. Let me just go wash my hands. Okay, so now we're left with the almond milk, and what I like to do is add a tiny bit of vanilla. I use an organic vanilla that doesn't have any alcohol in it, and I use about 1/8 of a teaspoon. That's going to give you plenty of the vanilla flavor in your almond milk. And then I take a little bit of cinnamon. I love cinnamon. I'm not afraid to use cinnamon, so I'm using not quite 1/4 of a teaspoon, but that's nice for this. And then I take my Pinocchio funnel, which I love, and I put that on top of my Vitamixer. And I pour this back in here. Okay. And I put it back on the blender for just a minute. Not really a minute, like a second. And now I have this delicious almond milk. I take jars, I have empty glass jars, and I will pour this in my glass jar, put the lid on, and this goes into my refrigerator. This is so delicious. Cheers. Absolutely delicious. The almond milk is delicious for in place of milk in your coffee. You can use it with your oatmeal. I use it when I want to make soups and I want something creamy and I don't want to obviously use any dairy. I will use my almond milk. Cashews are another good nut to use. You can use them in sauces and soups to thicken things up. So there's all sorts of uses for this. But it's absolutely delicious. Your almond milk will last in your refrigerator for about 5 or 6 days. Tends to go pretty fast in my house, and I know tomorrow morning I'm going to be making some oatmeal because this almond milk is going to taste great in it. So thank you, and I'll see you soon.